Good evening. Welcome to this Greenville County Library System virtual event. My name is Nathaniel Lord. I am the Digital Literacy Coordinator here at Greenville County Library System, filling in tonight for our wonderful Rachel Nabinet, our Adult Programming Coordinator, who usually runs these programs. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm so glad that you could join us tonight for this Cooking Matters recipes presented by Clemson Snap ED. I just want to remind folks that if you're interested in other virtual events that we're going to be hosting here at the library system, please feel free to check out our website. We will have a variety available on there, future events. Here's the link that you can go to see adult virtual events. And if you go to the website, that can be found under the classes and events buttons. You can also learn more about the topic by clicking on health and wellness under our learning and research heading. And if you're interested in checking out any cooking and wellness materials, please feel free to stop on by the library system. All of our locations are currently open and operating. And as long as you have a valid library card, you can check out materials from the library at this time. Anyways, please welcome me in joining our presenter for today, Deanna with Clemson Snap EDU. And I will mute myself and pass it off to her.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. So welcome back, guys. Since you guys were here last time, I won't put this, well, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat box, but we have a survey, but you guys were here last time, so I don't need you to do a survey for me. Super appreciative that you did the survey last time. I'm going to put that in the chat box now. Can't put it in there now because I didn't copy and paste it correctly, but that's fine. I'm going to get started and I'm going to pull up our PowerPoint. Let's see. Let me make sure I got the right one here. Okay, can everybody see that okay? Yes, awesome. Thank you, Danielle. So today's lesson, we're gonna, of course, we can do the introductions, but I got to talk to you guys last time. Again, just participate if you don't mind. I appreciate the feedback and I appreciate being able to talk to you guys. If there's anything in terms of logistics, like I think you guys are all like good on muting, unmuting your video. I usually don't have you guys annotate anything. If you have any questions, you're free to come off of mute and ask them, or if it's just easier and more convenient for you to put them in the chat box, that's completely fine with me also. But yes, so if you guys don't mind telling me what your favorite recipe to make is, I can start if that's helpful at all. My favorite recipe to make is anything that's pasta. Any kind of pasta is my jam, so yes.
I love pasta. I love to do just pasta with like zucchini, tomato, and onion.
Oh, that sounds so good. What about you, Amy? Mac and cheese and meatloaf. That also sounds very yummy. Let's see. All right, so sorry, I'm trying to move my, there we go, perfect. So today we'll talk about practicing using recipe frameworks, which are super simple, super easy to do. We usually use pasta as a reference recipe. And then we'll talk about how to substitute ingredients in recipes. So if you don't have something that you need, we don't want that to stop you from making a recipe. So we'll talk about how we can still get you to the end goal of a recipe. And then we're going to share some meal ideas that allow all the family members to choose toppings or ingredients they enjoy, which is like super helpful if you're cooking for a bigger family or if you have some picky eaters. So you don't have to worry about food waste. We can make sure everybody has something they enjoy. So yes. Okay, so if you, excuse me, if you guys don't mind sharing, have you ever looked at a recipe recently and had to substitute an ingredient? or leave it out completely? And how do you feel about changing the recipe?
Deanna, this is Nathaniel. I just recently actually had to change. I was making some homemade naan bread.
Ooh.
Didn't realize that I didn't have eggs,
Mm-hmm.
but I did have chickpeas, and I actually used the canned chickpea juice. I looked
Yeah.
up and saw that you could use that as an alternative to eggs on a fly, and it came out really good.
That sounds so great. That actually makes me really happy because I follow a plant-based diet. And so a lot of people don't know that you can, it's called aquafaba. And a lot of people don't know that you can use it for so many things. And that's definitely one of them. And that makes me really happy that you didn't give up on your bread recipe and you were like, I have something. All right. Oh, also, if you don't mind answering, how do you feel about changing the recipe? Did it taste any different?
I personally couldn't tell any difference from when I did this. In fact, now it's kind of become standard because I don't use eggs a whole lot personally. So knowing that I can substitute aquafaba for the um, eggs was great. It was awesome.
That's exciting. Awesome. Danielle or Amy, do either of you have any recipes that you've had to substitute anything out for?
We did write in the chat box on that, but as far as I go, this is Danielle. I'm still at the point where I hate to, or I'm too scared to change anything, so I haven't done that.
Gotcha. Sorry, I am not meaning to ignore the chat box. The sharing, like the screen share feature on here is a little tricky for me sometimes. Okay, let's see. Awesome. Amy had to leave out mustard for ham glaze due to allergies, couldn't tell much difference in the taste. Awesome. Did you substitute anything in for the mustard, Amy? Or do you just left it out? Okay, gotcha. Cool. Okay. So this is a nice little reference sheet that we like to give to people. It's super helpful to like stick it on your fridge or something like that, or even just have it like in your pantry somewhere. But this just gives you a couple of alternatives. So like if you don't have berries, you can use cherries or you could use grapes. And they also give you raw versus cooked alternatives. So super handy for that. So you don't ever feel like, you know, you don't have something and you can't make a recipe. And it's not like super expansive. Like they're not going to tell you can use aquafaba for eggs, but they will tell you different vegetables and fruits that you can sub out. And what I like about this is it actually offers a lot of similarities in terms of texture. So I think they go for things that are similar in texture. So it's kind of like, even if it tastes a little different, it won't really feel any different as you're eating it. So that's a plus to that. And then these are some more substitutions also. Like for apples, you can pretty much use any stone fruit. Pears are great. Celery, you can use carrots or celery root. And I think the carrots offer you the same texture. Celery root's going to offer you the same taste. So very helpful sheet to have. And this is actually probably one of my absolute favorite sheets references. It tells you how to do like a step-by-step pasta dinner. And I think it's really helpful because a lot of times it's easy to go into the store and just think to yourself like, what can I throw into a pasta? But this actually gives you a really nice framework. And these are the frameworks that we mentioned at the very beginning. But these frameworks basically give you pasta, protein, veggie, sauce, seasoning. And so it helps you go through there and kind of get it together and make it yourself. And this sheet, I believe there's a extra part of it that gives you different spice mixtures. I believe it's this one. If it's not this one, I will find it. And there's an email that usually goes out to the participants and I will find that and get that to you guys. But yes, this one's super interesting. And it also has a try these combos portion. And that's really nice if you want to try something new, take a step out and just see what happens. It might be the best recipe you ever try, but never know till you try it. And this is another recipe framework too. So this one's for salads. And you'll notice the recipe frameworks that we usually offer are going to be for things that are already super versatile, things that you can already plug in different fruits or veggies or toppings and dressings. And this one's really nice because it offers you different dressing recipes. I know I'm one of those people who specific taste when it comes to dressings, and so it's much easier to just make my own as opposed to scouring the stores and trying to find one that fits my taste. But this one's really nice because you can kind of build on it and do your own thing. Like with the simple salad dressing, you could make it just like that, and then you could add some lemon juice to it if you like something a little bit more citrusy. So you don't have to like put yourself in a box when it comes to making a salad or a pasta that you want to be like your very own. And then the same thing we got for soups too. And we've been talking about it's like perfect weather for soups. But on top of that, soups are great for freezing. So if you make a big soup and it's you have enough left over, you could freeze it. And that's another meal for another day. You don't have to worry about making something new. And that cuts down on the time that you're in the kitchen. Okay, so there's not a recipe for this page exactly, but let's see. One second, guys. Sorry. Okay. So we don't have a recipe for this actual one. I think it's usually when we sub in and out, but these are some top tips for the day. So we want to make small changes to recipes that make them work better for your family and your budget. So say if you don't have something in your kitchen that you need for a recipe, you could always use something else, or if something's a bit out of your price range and you need something else, you can swap in something that might be a little bit more cost effective. And we also want to know it's okay to start with just a concept or idea. It also is super handy if you go to the store with a shopping list, so you don't just grab a bunch of random things and have a bunch of random things that don't really go together to make a meal, or you grab extra of what you already have at home. So we want to make sure keep a concept, but also kind of have a loose like shopping list, but you don't need an exact recipe. And if your things that you make don't come out amazing the first time, that's completely okay. It's all a learning process, and we want to make sure that we keep trying. Because you never get better unless you try. So you could become like a master recipe frameworker, and that would make me super happy. And then we also want to try simple meals that allow kids and picky eaters to choose their own toppings. And so things like the pasta is great because you could do like a pasta bar, and you could allow the kids to figure out what ingredients they would like instead of making a big batch of pasta that not everybody's in love with. Do any of you have picky eaters in your family that make it a little hard to make like one big meal? I know, Danielle, you said you were in the middle of preparing dinner right now.
Well, I'm with my mom right now, so she's not as picky.
Gotcha.
But my grandpa, I live with my grandpa, and he is super picky, which makes it super difficult. He only likes like hot dogs and things that I don't like, and
right.
So that makes it really difficult.
Yeah. Do you feel like this would probably be something that would help with him, like being not so picky, because then he could pick his own things?
Yeah, that may.
Yeah. Let's see. Guys, I'm trying to get to the chat box. Sorry, Amy. Amy. Husband is picky with trying new veggies. Yeah, that can be a difficult one. But yeah, I think with making salads too, like I think salads are a great way to add veggies into things, especially like I don't notice things are on salads if they're chopped really finely. And that's how actually like I came to love the hearts of palms. Like I didn't know what they were, and they seemed really strange to me for a really long time. And then they were on a salad and they were chopped up, and I tasted them and didn't realize that's what they were. And I was like, oh, this is like my favorite new thing for a salad now. So I think like these recipes allow you to be as adventurous, but also as safe as you like to be about eating. So maybe your husband will try some new veggies on a salad. We can always hope.
Hey everybody, this is Myra Brookins from Clemson Snap Ed, and we're going to be making barley and lentil soup today, so hope you guys like it. First things first, we have onions, carrots, garlic, barley, lentils, spinach, vegetable broth, some Parmesan cheese, and we have peppers, salt, we have chili powder, paprika, and then some canned tomatoes over here as well. And I think that's it. We have canola oil already over there as well, and some water measured out. And that's everything you'll need for this recipe. You can always add or take away some of the veggies if you'd like to. Of course, adding is great. But so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do, of course, is wash our hands and wash our area. We already did that. I do have a little bit of a mess because I've already prepared some of the things, so you wouldn't have to watch me do all of it. So we'll start with our carrot. The first thing that we want to do is peel our carrot. I'm going to put it on the solid surface, and I'm going to peel away from myself and only have to get rid of that outside layer. Then I'm going to turn it around and peel the other way. And then we're just going to cut it up into smaller pieces. This part is really to your preference. I'm also going to cut the end off. This part is really to your preference on how big you want it. This carrot is a little bit smaller, so on thicker carrots, I'll usually cut it in half like this, and then if it was really big, I'd cut it in half one more time this way before I cut it, but I think I'm good with this. I'm gonna put it on a flat surface, okay? Flat surface, and then I'm gonna make my small moons. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you guys know that we're gonna hold the handle here with 3 fingers, and then we're gonna hold the blade with 2, pincher, and then we're gonna kind of have this, our claw grip going on here. And when we cut, we don't just press right down, we kind of do a rocking motion. I'm trying to show you guys before I do it, and that's gonna give us what we wanna do. I'm gonna throw it into that bowl. I'm not even gonna cut this one in half, it's already pretty small end. So the recipe calls for 3 carrots, so I already had 2 cut up in the bowl, and now this will be my 3rd one. All right, good deal. Next thing that we're gonna do is our onion. I already have 1 all the way cut up, and then this will be my 2nd one. I think in my other recipes, y'all probably seen me cut an onion, so I think you guys know. You guys probably likely do this on your own already as well, so if you have a different way or a better way, that's awesome. You are welcome to use that. My biggest thing is safety. As long as you're doing it in a safe way, that's what I care about. I like to cut both ends of mine off and then cut it in half and then remove the outside layer. And then I can use the flat edge of both of these to cut. I had somebody ask me recently, how do I know how many layers to go? I usually just say that if you can still see yellow, especially darker spots, we want to peel that piece off. Perfect. All right, just gonna cut 1 piece of it now and I'll cut the rest later. So I'm gonna have my claw grip going on here. What I try to do is kind of keep it in line as best I can. Some people like to not cut all the way down, so that when they cut all together, it will just kind of come off in pieces when you turn the onion, I mean. I tried to keep it in place, didn't perfectly work. So then I'm just gonna turn it. And then I should have about a medium to small dice for what I'm doing here. depending on your family, if you have kids or anything like that, if you know the kiddos see onions or carrots or whatever have you in them, in the soup or casserole or pasta, whatever you're making, and don't like it, you can always chop this up a lot finer. When I was a kid, I used to call it things. I don't want any things in my spaghetti or whatever it may be. And so my family would chop it up very fine to make it really small pieces so that I couldn't tell. It's pretty clever. But if they don't mind, you can make it into these medium dices or something like this. So I already have a bowl going. Onions. I already have my garlic in this bowl as well, right this side here. All right. And then last but certainly not least, oh, my garlic. So, of course, I'm gonna press down on that, remove the ends. Well, we're gonna remove this outside. And then, perfect. And then we can kind of remove that little end. It's already pretty mashed up. We're gonna mince it, so we're gonna kind of make this into as small of pieces as we can get it. All right. We want to release all of that flavor from that garlic, so. Well, we got our garlic done. What we would normally do is cut up our spinach or our leafy green, whatever you want to use, kale, collards, any of that good stuff. I have spinach and arugula. It was in a pack that was on sale today, so that's what I got. This is 4 cups, and I just put it in a handful here, and I just kind of chopped it a few times each way and made it into smaller, not really strips, but just kind of chunks so that it's not huge pieces of spinach that you're getting in your bite. So already did that for you guys, and we're about to move on to the next step. The final product, our barley lentil soup. It looks delicious. It is steaming hot, and we have plenty enough to serve today, probably do tomorrow for leftovers, and then freeze for another meal. So this is a great thing to make in a big batch. Soups, pastas, casseroles are wonderful to do one big batch of cooking and then have meals for potentially the rest of the week, or save it for another time. Either way, I hope you get a chance to make this, guys. It's a really wonderful soup, and yeah, have a great day. Thank you so much.
So these are the Cooking Matters resources that we offer. So there's the Cooking Matters app. They don't currently have a version for iPhone just yet, but I think it is in the works. They've been doing some I think they're doing some good work to get it out, but it's been a while. I know since like I first started talking about this, so I don't know if they're like getting close to making an iPhone one or not. But if you do have an Android, it is available on Android. And if you don't have an iPhone, you can always go to the Cooking Matters website. That one has all the recipes that we use. There's also videos on there. So there's videos for the recipes, but there's also videos about just tips and tricks and hacks for the kitchen and saving money, saving time, preventing waste. So it's a huge hub of just information. And then these are just the Facebook page, which is super helpful. I follow the Facebook page, of course, but they post on there daily, and there's always some really cool fun facts about food, but there's also just like helpful tips and tricks also. So essentially it's the Cooking Matters website when you don't have to go to the website if you just want to scroll on your Facebook. So yes, thank you guys. You won't receive the email about the survey because you both have done the survey for me, so you don't have to repeat it again. But you guys will still get the link with the resources. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Today was a very short day, but yes. Do you guys have any questions or comments or feedback or anything?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and on behalf of the library system, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight as well. Really appreciate you joining us here for Cooking Matters recipes. I want to remind you that next week we have another Cooking Matters. That's going to be Cooking Matters at the Store, and that's going to be on November 30th. That's next Monday at 6 p.m., so same time. So if you're not already registered, you can visit the Library of Virtual Events and go ahead and register for that. In the meantime, we'll hopefully maybe see you again next week. And again, if you want any more great tips on health and wellness, be sure to use your library card. Come on in, check out some material, visit our website, look at some of our online resources. And don't forget that we have a lot of streamable content too that you can look at on your virtual devices, so tablets, phones, anything, PCs. But again, we really appreciate you all coming out today, and hopefully we will see you soon. And thank you, Deanna, again. And I hope everyone has a good evening.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.